So I always start off my projects with a sketch. I use this popcorn holder I got from Disneyland recently, and I saw his face and I used that face for reference. So basically just draw half the face and then it's symmetrical. So I just fold it in half later, and basically both sides are exactly the same. The only thing that wasn't the same was the smile. So I drew that one out separately. I wanted to make sure his proportions were perfect because I'm like really a stickler about proportions. So I wanted it to just look great, because at the end when you put the head and the body together and it's not proportional, it drives me crazy and I kind of want to do it over again. So I just needed to get it perfect the first time. So then once I cut it out, I cut his eyes out, basically use this as my stencil. And you'll see I do this in a lot of my projects. I make these little stencils that I kind of use to always make sure that from start to finish, everything looks exactly how I wanted it to be. I cut out the smile, and that's the only non-symmetrical part. After that, I trace my whole sketch onto a stacked thick thing of insulation foam, and then I just use a kitchen knife to shave it all down. It takes some time, but it's totally worth it because it gets it nice and smooth, which is what you'll see at the end. So here I've sanded it down with a nail filer. I use one of those heavy duty nail filers you see at the nail salon, and then I also trace the face back onto it. And then I flip it onto its face. I do the back of the head. The foam, I use it to make the hair. It gets really tricky, but this spray foam is really cheap. And then I just kind of chisel it down, and once I get it to the look I like, I paint it. I use all acrylic paints. Let me see. I do 2 coats so it's nice and bright white. And then after that, I sketch again the face how I like it to be before I do the acrylic paint with the details, like his eyes and everything like that. I'll link all the paints that I've used in my Amazon storefront and also in this YouTube tutorial as well. So I wanted to give him a little more dimension, so I added a bit of black around the edges to make it pop. And once I put the smile on, it looked perfect. I don't know, maybe I could have used some clay on his smile to make it more dimensional like I did for a barrel, but I was still really happy with it. You can kind of see the tail on the side. That's like the flexible foam. There's his face, all done. He looks perfect. Now it's time to make his body. It's just more layers of stacked foam. And then that's the emery board, the nail filer I used. And then I drew some detail lines on there. This is his leg. You can see I just stack them on top of each other. This time, to glue the foam pieces together, I used wood glue. Usually I use spray mount. I go back and forth based off how much I have. I used a soldering iron to get those grooves into the body. You can see that they're all there. And his little shoes, just more patience and time with the kitchen knife. And now it's time to prime. And I always use Mod Podge. This one's exterior. I think exterior, interior. I didn't think they're all the same because I mix it with acrylic. This one is super thick because it's really old, but it worked fine. The guy's still out there, no issues, no peeling, no chipping. And then I mix it in with some black because that way I can kind of see where it's going. I probably should have just mixed it in with some red. I don't know, maybe black was better because that way it covered all that. You can see where I sealed the gaps with the construction nail glue. It kind of closes that gap. It was a really easy, cheap material for me to use. And then the black paint just totally covers it. So maybe it's good I went over it with black paint mixed with Mod Podge instead of red paint mixed with Mod Podge, because black just covers everything. Whereas if I did it with red first, maybe it would look like a little different where the white construction adhesive is located. So you can see I paint the whole thing start to finish with black, and then after that, that's when I go over it with the color I want to use. I was also thinking, I was trying to get the grooves to stay black and then the rest of it to be red, but it didn't really work out, but it's okay. It was my first time doing this guy. Maybe I might do him again because I know I wasn't super happy with how thin his belly looked. I don't know, I kind of wanted him to have like a fat, round, more round belly. So who knows, maybe if I do this over again, I don't know if I do it over, maybe I just add another layer of foam to his belly to fatten him up. You can see I just slipped off the shoes. I use this bamboo skewer. I stick it into one end and the other end I stick it into the shoe, and then just take it on and off as needed while I paint. And then I use the construction nail glue to adhere him permanently from his feet to his foot. And then I didn't capture the red paint process because I just slapped it on, but I'll link the colors that I used. For the tail, I just used wire routed inside of this like flexible foam tube, and that way it gave it a nice curve, and I stuck the tube through the body and then used construction glue to hold it down. Kind of looks like a willy, but this is kind of the side I think I would have added another layer of foam on top of his belly just to round him out because he looks so flat. And nobody sees it from this side, but if I did locate him somewhere else in the house where I could see his belly, I think I definitely would, you know, make some changes and add another layer of foam right on his belly and round it out. So you can see there, the tail is super light. It's nice and curved, and I gave it a little spike. And then I used these little L brackets on his hands, once again, construction glue, so that I can hang him from my roof. So you can see there's a little string that holds his head. His head is separate, but you can't really ever see the string from, you know, standing below. So his body is hung separately, his head is hung separately. This is pictures I took like a few weeks later, and the paint is holding up great. I haven't sealed it or anything, and he's out there with the rest of the Nightmare Before Christmas guys. So I hope you like it. I hope you give him a try. I know it was a lot of steps, but it was really, really worth it because he's super, super cute. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. I hope you guys subscribe and let me know if there's anything you want to see me make. Bye.